I used to cycle with my dad as a young boy, and I never kind of went anywhere with it, but I always just sort of loved it. And I remember just like being on the street, and on my street, there's where I grew up back home, there's a sort of like good bit of road and a bad bit of road, and I always just remember like I'd race to like the end of the good bit of road on my bike, and that was always the sort of the little sprint that I would do. So I've always loved bike racing. I've always been competitive, but you know, it was only in the sort of last 3 years that I really kind of picked up and got into it. Well, we're literally a stone throws away from the Circus Hoy velodrome just down the road, so it's like, you know, a 10-minute bike ride. Even just as a young Scottish person, nothing to do with cycling, just growing up, you know, you got people like Chris Hoy to look up to. I just love self-improvement, and I think the bike for me is almost like an art form, I guess. It's almost like that's my canvas, is me on the bike. It's almost an emotional outlet, you know, and it lets me sort of express myself. I used to do road cycling, and I kind of did that up until university, and then first year uni, I thought, oh, you know what, like, I've always wanted to do the track, like, you know, even like Cav when he was on the track, when the Olympics and stuff. I just sort of like gave it a bash. I was just sort of like, you know what, I've got nothing to lose, let's try it, and I just loved it from the get-go. I used to do mountain biking as well, so I guess the steepness never kind of threw me off, so it was sort of natural at just getting up on the banking and just sort of riding it. You're kind of tucked in, you're sort of leaning, and like you feel your whole body sort of getting like thrown off, and it's just like nothing I'd sort of ever felt before. That's what got me hooked. I mean, I think there's something quite poetic about it. Growing up and seeing the Commie Games and sort of the atmosphere that it brought to Glasgow at the time, I was like, oh, this is like special. I remember my dad saying at the time, oh, like, enjoy this is like once in a lifetime. Like, there'd be something quite special about riding your home track. You know what I mean? To be riding Glasgow, where you train day in, day out, you have so many memories, good and bad, you know, so many emotions piled into, you know, 250 metres of wood. You know, I think to be doing that on the track you train on, and you quite literally live, you know, under, is, you know, that'd be very special.
What's your dream?
Going to the Olympics, and I think, you know, aside from the Olympics as well, it's just getting the most out of me, and I've always believed that. There's no like sunset moment, but I want to like have a moment where I'm like, yeah, like, you know what, like I've given it my all, you know, and I think it's just getting the most out of myself. I think to be the best version of myself that I can be. I am currently the fastest British amateur in the history of the sport, track sprint cycling. So, I mean, I don't see why I can't be at the top competing for it all. You know, like, to be honest, I back myself. It's just special. It's just two wheels and a dream, you know. There's a saying, there's two types of people. There's the man that believes he can, and there's the man that believes he can't, and they're both usually right. You know, and I sort of believe that to its purest form.